We got Nik Lentz here on the program. He's going to be taking on Gray Maynard at UFC 229 on October 6th. Nick, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Just chilling. Kids are napping, so I'm just taking a break.
Let's talk about your last fight quickly. I know things didn't go your way against David Teymur. What did you take away from that performance that you can kind of bring into this fight?
Well, I mean, there was a couple things I learned in that fight. Number one is there was like a lot of his kicks and stuff did no damage, but like they made lots of noise and stuff, kind of like slapping, and people eat that kind of stuff up. And I'm a little too. I've noticed that I've been a little too relaxed in there. As I become a better and better fighter, it's very hard to hurt me, and that's taken away a certain kind of urgency that I need in the fight. And so when the guy's not hurting you at all, and I feel like I'm landing the heavier shots and stuff, maybe sometimes if for judges and on TV it doesn't translate as well. So the guy's throwing more volume. He's throwing kicks that don't hurt, but they slap and they make red marks and stuff. And then also sometimes sometimes I forget when you're fighting in the UFC that these guys aren't like honorable guys. And I didn't train for when I shot and got the body lock for him to like just poke me in the eyes and do cheap stuff, and that really frustrated me, and I lost my concentration for a little bit. So every once in a while you have to be reminded of that, and before you go into the fight, know that if maybe something goes against this guy and he doesn't like it, they might start doing cheap stuff. They might do things just to frustrate you and to try to get an advantage. And sometimes, like I said, you get too relaxed in there. I've been doing this for 10 years in the UFC. So it can become too normalized. And I needed to be a little more aggressive and pick up the pace a little bit and get a little meaner again.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about Gray Maynard. Surprised to get this fight. He'd been fighting at featherweight, hasn't fought in a while. Was it a bit surprising that this matchup came together?
Yeah, it was super surprising because I had texted Sean previously asking him for a fight. I gave him a list of cards to fight on, and I was going to text him that day, and then I picked up my phone to text him, and he already texted me and said, hey, you want to fight Gray Maynard? And I mean, in a million years, I would have never thought I would have got that text. It was so random, like Gray Maynard. Like, I mean, done a ton in the sport, but like you said, a different weight class, different stuff. I wasn't expecting it, but sometimes gifts are handed to us in life, and this is a big fight for me, and I'm very excited for it.
And obviously he's got great wrestling. That's sort of what he's been known for throughout his career. He's got that bully nickname. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
I feel like I'm bigger, stronger, more talented, faster, and I feel like as far as damage and how much our careers have done on us, I feel like I'm still going up, and I'm very healthy, and everything about me is peaking, and I feel like he is trying to make a comeback and he's going to be trying too hard. And I feel like he's going to get frustrated. I've noticed he's gotten frustrated in a lot of his last fights, even though he won the one with the Japanese dude. But yeah, I mean, I see me kind of dismantling him on the feet, being able to control where the fight takes place. And I mean, it's going to be very hard to bully me. Nobody's ever done it, so I mean, I've lost and won fights, but if you want to come out and try to be a bully, you're gonna have a rough time.
What about the layoff for him? He hasn't fought in more than a year. Do you feel like that will impact him, especially being an older fighter?
Yeah, I mean, it will impact him in a way, but who knows? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm fighting the guy who had the epic throwdowns with Frankie Edgar and was always, strong, peak, hit hard, good in scrambles, all that stuff. So I'm preparing for the best Gray Maynard there's ever been. The chances that comes out are minimal, but I will be prepared for it. And on that night, I'm telling you, I'm a different person. There's something clicked after my last fight where I don't know what it is. Like just there's something that changed. Like in my life, I had my second kid. So like that was over with. I had her right before I left the hospital to go to the fight. So that was a different experience, and maybe I shouldn't have done that, but the way it was, I should have maybe postponed the fight, switched it or whatever. But I don't know, something has clicked mentally for me, and all the coaches, all my training partners have noticed there's been a big shift in my abilities and stuff. It's like finally, for the first time in my life, I feel like I have everything together, outside and inside of fighting.
And you got a great camp, man. Hard Knocks, you guys are on a roll right now. A lot of big wins recently in the gym. What about training partners? Is there anyone specifically you train with a little bit more than others at Hard Knocks?
No, the great thing about Hard Knocks is it's all quality, man. It's a smaller gym, but everyone there is just so high level and quality. And the second I walked in, everyone treated me like family. You know, that was one of the things that when I switched gyms, I mean, I have a good enough name to go to any gym I want, but I walked in the door with a newborn baby, and it's like, hey guys, not only am I coming to like a rival team from my other one, I have a little kid with me and stuff, but you know, the Henry's wife Pookie just grabbed my kid right from me the second I walked in the door. She helped me take care of her, and then you know, we started training. And Henry's kickboxing is very simplistic in nature, but it's very complicated, you know, as far as how hard it is to prepare for and stuff. And so my striking has finally reached a new level to where I'm confident in it, you know, and it's made my wrestling and everything better as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a really good program. And then also, I mean, I left ATT. Everybody knows that, and I brought a lot of people with me. So my coaches came with me and stuff. So, you know, I got the better end of that.
Now, I'm a Canadian. I got to ask a Canadian question here. Evan Boris, I know, works with you guys. Do you get to work with him at all?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to work with him for a while when he was down here. Yeah, he was fun. He was fun to hang out with. We went out to the bar a few nights too.
Yeah, he's quite the character, but he's a really underrated coach in my opinion, as far as like a secret weapon at the camp, as far as, you know, striking techniques and everything like that. How much has he sort of benefited your game?
You know, I mean, we work together a lot. You know, I mean, anytime you get to work with a new coach, it's nice to hear good things from him. You know, and one of the things that he gave me confidence in is how good my leg kicks are and stuff. You know, he said, you know, he insists that I'm one of the hardest kickers that he's ever dealt with. So, you know, that's a nice boost of confidence and stuff. But as far as training full time and techniques, he didn't really. I wouldn't say he really taught me all that much, but he encouraged me to use what I had, and that's sometimes that's more important.
What about the weight cut? I know we've got a few weeks away from this matchup, but has that process already started?
No, my weight's fine. You know.
Okay, I was gonna say, 'cause better than fighting at 45, obviously.
Yeah, I moved away from 45 because I mean, to be quite honest with you, even winning sometimes that was miserable, and there were times when I was making 45 where I thought I would rather dig ditches than cut this weight and make money and win fights or whatever. You know, I mean, I would if there's for sure times in my life where going to 45 where if it was like you can be the 145-pound champion of the world, but you have to deal with this for another year of your life, or you can be like a homeless ditch digger. I probably would have picked the ditch digging because it was so freaking miserable.
Okay. So you painted a pretty good picture there. That's
yeah,
crazy.
So I had to make a change in my life, you know, and if I was cutting that much weight and dieting, I mean, I was so strict on my diet for 45 for like 2 years. I mean, I didn't even eat like an extra blueberry. Like I would weigh stuff so precisely that I would like take a single pinto bean out of the thing and to make sure that everything was right. The calories were down to the 1 calorie, and it was just a miserable thing. And it worked for a while, but then the diet stopped working because it was just such an extreme drop, and it was just a miserable experience. And then I have my kids now. So I mean, I would be a terrible father because I wouldn't ever be able to have fun. I'd be miserable all the time. It was just a miserable experience. And now going back up to 55, initially I was a little undersized, but I put on a little bit of weight in that department, lost a little fat, and now I'm walking around, you know, scary enough, I'm walking around right where I used to cut to 45, but now I'm 55. You know, I was 174 pounds this morning, and that's what I would cut to make 45, 174 to 45.
Jesus, that's crazy. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Kami's going to be there. He's always in my corner. Henry will be there, and then usually the third. I'm not real big on having too many coaches, so I don't always have the third guy come. Just because I'm a introverted person. I don't need too much said. I don't need too much done. You know, the people always laugh, but the very first thing I ever tell a coach when they work with me in the corner. I was like, number one, you can't touch me, just because I like my own personal space, you know. And then number two, you can't yell at me. So stay a distance and talk to me quietly, and then we'll be able to work together very well.
Okay, that's interesting. How do you see this fight playing out on the 6th? I mean, you signed the paper. You obviously feel like you're going to win the fight, but how do you see it unfolding?
I honestly think I'm going to be too fast for him. I think he won't be able to keep up with the scrambles with me, and I think that I have nothing to prove as far as like tough guyness goes, and I think I'm just fine with hitting him and moving away and getting him to overcommit and take a bad shot and either get beat up or he'll get choked out. You know, I mean, I'm just fine choking him out too if he wants to get choked out.
Where do you feel like a win over Gray Maynard puts you? I mean, again, this was a bit of a surprising fight, but he is a notable guy as far as being in the UFC for quite some time.
It's a great win. I mean, it's always a great win. Is it as good as a win as it was 5 years ago? No, but yeah, it's a great win. And to be honest with you, for the longest time I thought I did things the right way. You know, like I climbed my way up the ladder of 45. I thought that if I just worked hard enough and I did it the right way, that it was possible to get to the belt. And then I got there and I did it the right way, and I realized that that whole approach is not how life works. And unfortunately, in that MMA is not, it's not really a sport, it's an entertainment industry. And the way you get to the top has almost nothing to do with your climb through the right amount of people. And that any amount of wins or impressive victories, you can leapfrog tons of people and stuff. So that's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for exciting, impressive victories. And the more of those that you can stream together, the quicker you can get to the top. It really has nothing to do with who you beat. It really has to do with how and the entertainment value that you provide for the fans that will get you to the top.
Last question before I let you go here, Nick, and again, I appreciate the time. Everyone's been talking about it. I don't mean to get a little political here, but the Nike ad, the Colin Kaepernick ad, I wanted to get your thoughts on that just as a fellow professional athlete, I should say. Just your thoughts on the ad and the reaction that everyone's having towards it.
As far as political stuff goes, I'm a lifelong conservative. I've been a conservative my whole life. You know, I grew up very poor and stuff, and I saw the way that politicians and stuff use poor people and take advantage of them and never give them. They just lie to you, and they never give you what they're supposed to give you. And I kind of crawled my way out of that, so I never want to go back to that. And I've been a conservative since. As far as boycotting goes, I find this a ridiculous practice. You know, I think you should rate things on how good the product is, not what they're doing ads for and stuff. And as much as, you know, I don't like the kneeling at the anthems and stuff, I think it's tacky, I think it's stupid, and I think it's counterproductive. But I think that everyone should be allowed to do that. And as far as like burning my Nikes and stuff, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can see, but let's see. I got a lot of them, so I ain't fucking burning them.
Yeah, that's a lot of good Nikes right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, you know, I'm not burning anything, and I find that whole practice of boycotting and that's what the world's turned into. We've all turned into a bunch of sensitive babies about everything. It's like, oh, I don't like that, so I'm going to burn my Nikes. You know, but what good does that do anyways? They already have your money, and now you burn your shoes, and now you got to buy new shoes. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, just buy products that you like, and who really cares what their politics are? I mean, unless they're doing something really stupid. And a company as big as Nike, you know, they have so many employees, so many things, and you going around protesting like an idiot is just hurting them. You know, I mean, what does the factory worker? You know, I saw a really good thing about it. It was like people are being woke by, you know, defending Nike as some Vietnamese sweatshop makes the shoes. You know, like, it's not, the whole idea of it there is silly. So I wouldn't boycott anything, and I find the entire practice of how we become oversensitized to every political thing is ridiculous.
And I don't think anyone will be boycotting this card coming up here on October 6th. This is a stacked card, man. UFC 229. Nik, it was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. I appreciate the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you have any sponsors or shout-outs or anything like that, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just find me. It's any social media is at Nik Lentz, at NIKLENTZ. You know, follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, and look forward to my fight.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.